For the last couple of months, I've been working on my sprint quite a lot, and I wanted to see what I could improve. Overall, I think my sprinting improved quite a lot, but now I want to talk to my coach, who's a professional performance athlete, and see what he thinks about my sprinting, and especially give me some critics, what I can work on, what things are good, what things are bad. I normally don't say this myself, but this is a very interesting video, because I will learn a lot, and I hope you will learn a lot too from the mistakes I make during my sprinting, and hopefully you can implement the things he says to your sprinting as well. Let's hop on a call with Coach Rapotnik and start off with a small introduction.
What I've been doing is I have been a sports performance coach for 6 years. I have been coaching frisbee teams before that. During my studies, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in exercise science. And 5 years ago, I started working with a professional football, so soccer for the American Folk Club. And I've been working in their youth academy, and basically as a team strength and conditioning coach, I've been doing some return to play work. So like the final step in the rehab process of athletes, getting them back onto the field. Yeah, I've been coaching Tobe for, how long is it now?
Quite
2
some
years?
time. I think three years,
3 years?
almost four
3
maybe.
years?
Okay, so basically the idea of today is that we're gonna watch my sprinting and me getting feedback from a guy with quite a resume in the sports industry. I would say go ahead, do your thing, and break down my sprinting, I would say.
So what I would probably suggest is that we just watch it through one time, and then we focus in on other points.
Nice 3-point stance. It's so weird looking at yourself while you're sprinting.
Yeah, if I can show you a video of me sprinting like 7 or 8 years ago. It's horrible. Like, okay, that was the back view. I think this is the side view. And finally, I think that's the front. Yeah.
It's funny. When I do it, I think I do most of the things right, and then when I watch it back, I'm like, oh shit, this looks horrible.
Hmm. After seeing those first tries, I'm guessing those were 3 different runs, right?
Yeah,
Because
indeed.
what would be like your first thoughts watching those runs?
It's maybe a bit weird, but I have the feeling, especially from the back view, that when I start, my knees almost collide on every step. I have a feeling like they go inwards a lot.
So what's one, like, what would be probably the most powerful muscle in sprint acceleration?
I would say the quadriceps for sure.
Quads, yeah, but also the glutes. So the glutes provide that forward push, because the glutes come from like the inside of your hip bone, and they run outward to the lateral side of your humerus. They are at their longest portion when the thigh is rotated inwards, so an internal rotation.
Yeah,
The task is to generate as much push as possible. Is it rotates your thigh inward upon landing, and as you strike the floor, you have more glute to push off of. So it's lengthened at the beginning so that you can use it for longer while you're on the ground. So if you would imagine that you turned it out towards landing, it would already be shortened, and you
yeah.
wouldn't have nowhere to go upon pushing forward.
The range
Inward
of motion
rotation,
is smaller.
yeah, exactly. That's actually not a bad thing that you're doing that. You can also see in this image pretty nicely that your upper body needs to rotate or to like lean into the other direction to
Yeah,
compensate for this. This is not a bad thing. That's something that a lot of coaches, especially in the beginning of their journey, get wrong, that they think everything should move straight and back because that would be the most efficient path. But our muscles do not work in straight lines, they work in rotation. And that's why you need some sort of rotational element, some sort of lean. I would even argue that you might even be missing some of the rotational elements in that sprint start.
So basically, I'm losing power output a little by not using it maximal.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. People who are like amazing at this would be, for example, like NFL running backs, because on the one hand, they are usually very wide-shaped athletes. They have a very wide rib cage, what allows them to produce lots of power and also gives them more space side to side to maneuver their center of mass. Frisbee players tend to be more narrow in shape, and that actually is an advantage in ultimate because you need to be able to rotate better. Imagine a banana,
Okay.
and you have like a super wide banana that's super short. This banana would be great to like handle pressure, so you could put something on it. It wouldn't crush because it has like a wide base and lots of area to handle that force.
Yeah.
But if you want to like take it top and bottom and turn it around, rotate it, it wouldn't be very easy because it has so much material basically. And now you imagine like a longer, slimmer banana that would be easy to rotate. Someone's gonna take this out of context, I know.
Is this OnlyFans or a YouTube video?
That would be very easy to rotate, but it would be bad at handling top to bottom pressure. And that's why you can also see in your running shape that even though you have some side to side movement, like you can see even on the first step, that it's going out to the side a little bit. It's kind of hard to draw that line here. That's basically the shoulder width,
Yeah.
and you're staying pretty much inside of that, which is good according to your shape because you're kind of in the middle. Like you're not a super narrow guy, but you're also not really a wide power production. That's why you can generate a good amount of power, but you also can deal with rotation quite well. Take a look at your head and neck posture during this.
It's indeed, it's looking down. It's like all the way
Yeah,
bent.
you're going like bent over like this. And I'm assuming you're doing this because at one point you heard that you should stay low during acceleration to project and to lean to the acceleration better.
Yep,
So
indeed.
kind of the problem with that is one, it affects the turning of your pelvis. So if you kind of turn into that, you've kind of tuck your pelvis under, and that limits the range that your thigh can go backward into extension
Okay.
because you need an anterior pelvic tilt on that side to really access full hip rotation.
Yeah.
And if you're kind of down here, then you kind of limit that ability to
So
extend.
again, I lose power output by not having an anterior
Yeah,
pelvis.
you essentially what you're doing is you're shortening your stride length. The takeaway here is not that you should like keep your chin up during
No, no,
running.
for sure.
The main takeaway here is actually that excessive cueing, like cueing on technique elements that are just external in nature, tend to do more harm than good in sprint technique. So you can completely ruin a natural runner's form by giving them too many coaching cues on what they should do. Things like push back into the ground, which causes them to extend their knees early. Things like stay low, which causes them to tuck their chin. Things like this work in an environment where you have lots of feedback and can adjust very minor details. And even there, they're super inefficient. So you need lots of time, lots of reps to fine tune things that could be done much easier. And the way to do that is through external constraints that force the athlete into problem solving and finding the solutions for themselves.
I do
So
recognize what you're saying, and I think everybody who read The Inner Game of Tennis will
yeah,
probably also understand what you're saying by basically letting the athlete figure it out themselves, just giving them the tools to figure it out rather than to giving them what to figure out already figured out, because that's not the way you like learn it in the long term. I guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. So for example, if we take the sprint start from you and we want to say, okay, you're great at using your hips, you have a nice low shin drop, but we kind of want you to use more rotations from your upper body. What we could do is, for example, we give you 6 accelerations, and I want you to like either hold a med ball in front of your chest or kind of like embrace yourself really tight, and that forces you to rotate around because you don't have your arms anymore to counterbalance your center of mass, allowing you to feel what it feels like to access more rotation through your trunk. The second thing why this might not be ideal is that it limits your upper body's ability to kind of really get in those acceleration because you want to rotate along a single axis. What we definitely also should focus on are things like synchronization. In the first step, you're not perfectly synced up. So what we would be looking here is the moment that your arms are perfectly side to side and your knees would be perfectly side to side.
Yeah.
If that's not the case, within the first step of the acceleration, it's not a huge deal. Like the first step is an out of context step, but after the second or third, we should be fairly linked up, and we are pretty much. We're maybe a little bit behind on that one, but
Yeah.
if we look at that frame, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, indeed.
In here, it's also, that one's pretty nice actually.
To back myself, I never in Ultimate start from a 2-point or a 3-point stance. I'm always in some kind of movement, so I don't start from that low. I for sure know I still have work to do, but the rotation thing is fairly new to me, so it's cool that you pointed out as well. I have new stuff to work on. Well, thank you so much for like helping me not only the past 3-4 years now, but also with my sprints. I think I can improve quite a lot of things, and I will definitely rewatch my own video a couple of times.
Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much to my coach as well for hopping on this call with me and helping me make this video, of course. Please leave a like and subscribe. Also, go check out his Instagram. He posts quite a lot of things that are very interesting if you want to improve your ultimate game. That being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to go training today, and see y'all in the next one.